Host Eric here, host Talking Famous People. We're playing ENFP style grocery shopping, which means, unlike the other types, we get part of the groceries in one trip and part of the groceries 5 minutes later in another trip. Okay, so JC, why don't you tell us about what you think about the ENFP grocery shopping experience?
Going to the grocery store with my ENFP friend, if she had to drive, it would be like this. Us talking in the kitchen, looking in the refrigerator and going, oh man, there's no food. Let's go to the grocery store. Okay. And then we sit down and we talk some more. And then we remember that we're hungry and we go, oh yeah, that's right. We were supposed to go to the grocery store. So we finally get into the car and go to the store. And she wants to make some crazy concoction. So she's like going around, and instead of looking for the ingredients for the concoction, she has found a bag of cookies. What? Why are you eating cookies? You said that you wanted to make your fried chicken. Let's make that.
I've got a
Oh
better
no!
idea now, though. Let's make cookie oatmeal. You know?
That's basically shopping with my friend if she's shopping. Yeah.
That's happened to me before, though, too. ENFPs, don't feel bad. I go there with a list sometimes. This has happened to me before. I've gone with a list with a concoction I want to make, with a list to make that concoction, and come out of there with completely different ingredients. I got a new concoction in mind while I was there, is what happens. You know? The new concoction sounds
Now,
more fun.
the likelihood is that I will have reminded her of what she was originally supposed to make. Okay, you were going to make this. What do you need for that? Okay, let's go get that.
Does she
Okay,
then?
what else do you need to make that? Okay, let's go get that. And she'll stop us on the way, but like I eventually make sure that at least the stuff she needs to make that into the cart.
See, that to me sounds like SE proceeding through an existing agreed upon plan. And that seems consistent with what I would expect SE to do in an SE-NE relationship. Is SE would help get NE focused on following through on something that's one of the possibilities that you guys embraced.
Hmm.
What's
Yeah,
going on?
that sounds accurate.
That was cool.
They lost their phone.
No, it's not. Didn't lose it here. A large struck it.
Okay. Any other thoughts on the ENFP grocery shopping modality paradigm symposium? Not host Mark, you know any ENFPs?
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Taylor, you know any ENFPs?
I think I know. Yeah. And I've never been shopping with him, but he has been responsible for like bringing food to family get-togethers.
He shows up with an avocado. Look!
Shows up, goes, "Hey, what do you guys want?"
Wait, show up with the groceries instead of the actual meal because they got so sidetracked by everything else that was going on.
I thought you were going to bring a casserole. I brought the ingredients for a
Right.
casserole.
So they bring the ingredients and then they make the casserole there. It makes so much sense.
Well, it's more fun because you got other people there, right? It's not fun to make casserole by
Right.
yourself.
It's
Right.
like you send him a list. This is what everyone wants from the restaurant, and we'll give you money when you get here or whatever. And then he shows up an hour late with no food but a new girlfriend, wondering why everyone's giving them that look.
Possibilities everywhere. Okay, so ENFP, don't feel bad. And we're not any better, really. ENTPs, we're just kind of we just anticipate our own failure better and spike it out
That's,
and
we
prevent.
avoid
Yeah.
the responsibility at all.
Yes, we do a much better job of that. We don't make quite the same mistake of believing our own craziness as you guys do. We do when we're younger. I remember I believed it for a long time. It seemed like until finally I was just like, Eric, you've got to stop thinking that you are going to follow through with shit you're not going to follow through on. And I never have quite gotten over it, but I mean, I much more reliably default to no, I won't commit to that now than I once did. How about you, Taylor?
Yeah, it's if possible, I never commit to anything ever, and then I can always back into that responsibility later.
How does that process work? Explain the backing in process.
Somebody needs to get food. Somebody needs to marry her. So stuff like that. Not her specifically.
Do you mean get married to her? Or do you mean marry her like the pastor?
Get married to her.
Oh.
Like.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. I might as well be me. I'll be a trooper. I'll step up to the plate. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, when she's got your baby, people tend to assume that you're the one who should do that.
Yeah. So.
Boxing me into libertarianism and marriage and stuff.
But you ended up eventually getting through and on the other side of that whole marriage thing. My marriage. My marriage didn't really. My first marriage didn't last very long either. And the thing about possibilities as a dominant function, NE is a dominant function, is I think we all have to struggle to find our way of putting a steering wheel on it up until you're around 30. I think that's when you can potentially start to get a handle on it. And for me, that's just based on my own experience. I didn't get a handle on it until later than that. And I still don't know if I really have a handle on it. But at least it's not leading me into so many disastrous or precarious, not disastrous. It's not leading me into so many precarious situations. It's not as high intensity as it once was, as far as seeking the edges. So that's my message.
Edges. Not all those edges are fun to find.
Right, they're not all fun to find, and some of them are very scary, and some of them are very sad. But regardless, any DOMs of the world, whether your judging function is feeling or thinking, at the end of the day, the issue comes down to understanding time frame at a gut level and being able to trust that time will pass and that the things you plant now will sprout later, because we want to plant it now and have it sprout right now and have it harvest right now. We don't want to wait for it. We don't like long range things. So that's, I think, the key, in my opinion. If I had one thing to point out, it would be that, is trust that passage of time enough to plant seeds that don't sprout short term. Any other thoughts? Thanks for watching Talk with Family People.